welcome to our Good Enough for Royalty cooking class. Since it's the Queen's birthday public holiday, we thought we would just show some fancy kind of gourmet style recipes, not the type we would normally do on a busy weekday or whenever, but yeah, we just wanted to show you a few different style dishes today. And just so you know, the class is being recorded, but none of your faces will be in the recording. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We will endeavour to answer your questions. There's a few consultants on here tonight. I'll also be sending an email tomorrow with a link of recipes and anything else I think needs to be shared from today's class. If you think of anything else, please just reply to the emails with any other questions you may have. But yeah, feel free to put it in the chat. At the very end of the class, I'll also stay on in case you want to come off mute and ask other things, not necessarily about things from tonight, but even just anything about Thermomix. So yeah, but we will just begin. And because of the type of recipes we're sharing tonight, we have mostly pre-recorded everything because it needs to cut out time in the steps. So I'm just going to go ahead and start sharing our first recipe, which is a beautiful apple and ginger paste, which Yolanda Baker, one of our consultants, has presented for us. So here we go.
Hi, it's Yolanda from Thermomix. Today I'm going to cook apple and ginger paste. I've been asked to bring a cheese platter to someone's house, and I thought that'd be really nice to have alongside a cheese platter. I've also got some fresh apples that we picked on a recent trip out to the country, so I thought that was even more personal because we picked the apples. This recipe is pretty quick to prepare, but it has got a long cooking step. So I'm going to record this process and then just zoom it through so that it'll be quick for you to watch. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I'll just tilt the screen down and then you'll be able to see. So pear and ginger paste. First thing we do is we line a shallow baking tray with some baking paper, a small one, which I've done. And then the next thing we do, we get some fresh ginger, about 80 to 100 grams worth, peel it and chop it into bits. There it is there. And we pop that into the Thermomix. Next, we're going to put the lid on and we'll do a quick chop step of the ginger. So round to speed 7. Once that's done, all we have to do is give it a quick scrape down. Not sure if you can see my screen very well with my lighting the way it is. Apologies for that. There's not much I can do about it. Anyway, after those few seconds of chopping, that's what we've got, some ginger that's easy to work with. So we'll just give that a scrape down with a spatula. And the next thing we do is we're adding pear, about 170 grams peeled, unpeeled, sorry. So if I want to check the weight, I can just call up the scales using those 3 little dots there at the top, and I'll pop that in. And I've got a little bit more than the recipe asks for, but that's okay. And then next, some Granny Smith apples, around 500 grams approximately. I've got mostly Granny Smiths, but we did have a couple of other red apple varieties as well. So I'm just going to use them all. Pop that in there as well. And then the next thing is 1 lemon zest with no white pith, just the lemon zest. So we've got plenty of lemons at the moment in the garden, so it's nice to use things that we've juiced ourselves. Next thing, about 40 grams of lemon juice, which is pretty much what came off that one I peeled. So in that goes, 40 grams. And the next thing, 120 grams of water. I love the idea of making one of these gourmet pastes myself. I haven't done it before. It's been on my to-do list for a while. In fact, I've got a folder now in Cookie Do called Try It for all the things I want to try that I haven't yet done. Okay, next, insert the measuring cap into the mixing bowl lid. And we're going to turn up to speed 5 for 10 seconds. Okay. So we keep the measuring cap inserted and then we're going to cook for half an hour at 100 degrees. So while that's cooking, I'll just stop the recording and we'll come back in a while. Okay, so our 30-minute cook step is finished and we've got a nice paste like that. Smells fantastic in the house. The ginger aroma is quite strong. The next thing we have to do is transfer that into a jug. I'm putting it into a Pyrex one. The reason for that is that we have to measure how much we have so we know how much sugar to put in. So we need to know the weight. So we'll just transfer it out roughly. We don't have to clean the bowl too carefully, but get most of it out. There we go. Jug back in there. Next step, weigh it back in. So let's see what we have. Beautiful amount there. What I have is about 650 grams. So depending on how much we've got, depends on how much sugar we add back. So I'm going to be adding back a bit less sugar. We don't have quite as much in there as we might have had because we've lost quite a bit of moisture with evaporation. So now I need to add back 600 or 700 grams of sugar, depending on what my apple weight was. It needs to be about 3/4 the weight of the total mixture. So I want to add in, I think for me, I'm going to use about 500 grams of sugar. And I might actually just put an extra 50 in. There we go, that'll be good. And put the measuring cap back into the mixing bowl lid. The next thing that happens, we're going to turn it to speed 8 to blend that through. Okay, so the next step is to put the Varoma dish on top instead of the measuring cap, and we're going to cook it at 100 degrees for 99 minutes. So that's going to allow us to evaporate off a lot of that moisture and produce our beautifully concentrated paste. I can show you what it looks like after it's been blended. There we go. It's quite wet. It looks like applesauce, really. So I'll just give that a little scrape down on the sides, pop the Varoma on top, and we'll start cooking. So at this point, I can go away and do anything else I like for 99 minutes, and it will just sit there doing its thing in the background, which is lovely. I'll come back to you and show you what it looks like when I'm pouring it into the tray and maybe when it's set. Okay, bye. Our paste has finished cooking. It's been going for 99 minutes. I'm now going to take the Varoma dish off and the lid. We can see inside that it's browned a little and that it's really reduced right down into a paste. That paste now gets popped into a tray, which I've lined, and that will go into the fridge for at least 2 hours. It smells really wonderful. It's quite thick, as you would expect. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out and enjoying it with some cheese and crackers. It's made quite a large amount actually, so it's a nice recipe when you want to share a bit with some friends, which we'll be doing this week. I made paste to go with cheese. This one is apple and ginger. There's a little bit more in the bowl and I'll just continue to spread that out. Pop it in the fridge and we'll be enjoying that tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
So there we have a beautiful apple ginger paste, which would look beautiful on cheese boards. I have tried that recipe and it was delicious with cheese and crackers, like just really great recipe. We had it served in a cup where you use a spoon to put it on because it's not super hard like quince paste. Maybe Yolanda, who's on tonight, can confirm that in the chat or whatever. But yeah, just a beautiful paste to go with cheese and crackers. So a little bit gourmet. I'm going to show you a recipe now for, what did I make? Oh yeah, Yolanda's saying it really was good. Everyone loved it. That's good. I wanted to do a sous vide recipe. Anyway, I explain it all in the video. So just give me 2 seconds to find that for us. It was a good thing I pre-recorded this because the traffic was so bad getting back from my weekend away. I just got back at 10 to 7. So really unexpected to be back that late. So it's good that I was prepared with this recipe on video to show you all. I'm going to show you now how to make this really fancy dish called sous vide scallops with saffron sauce. And I'm going to step you through all the steps for those who don't know how to sous vide and who've never worked with seafood before. I'm not like a super expert, but I hopefully will be able to show you how all this works. I'm going to use guided cooking today just to step us through really easily. So the first step is to insert the blade cover. And if you don't have a blade cover, you can use the simmer basket. You obviously just need to make sure what you're sous viding fits within the simmer basket. But for today, I have a blade cover and I'm going to use that. You just sit it on top and it clicks in very easily over the top of your blades. Next step is to add water. So I'm going to measure that in. And I need more. So basically in sous vide, we are filling the whole bowl because we want our bags to be completely submerged in water. So we are really filling this very high. Oh, and I still need more. Because this recipe is in imperial units, I didn't know how much water we needed ahead of time, but that's okay because when a recipe is in imperial, the scales are as well. So it's okay. I can follow that easily. Okay, that looks good. So we're at the 2 litre mark. So there you go. 65 ounces is 2 litres. I could have looked that up. And then we're going to add lemon. I've just used the juice of half a lemon in here, and hopefully that's enough. Oh, that is pretty spot on. And put on our lid. And this is heating up to get to the perfect temperature while we prepare our bags to go in. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of information here. It gives you everything very comprehensively. So it's telling me to season 12 large jumbo sea scallops, mussels removed. So I have, I kept this just to show you. So I've got my scallops here. When I bought them from the seafood shop, they came with these, I guess it's the mussel, but the guy at the shop was like, no, don't take it off, leave it on. But the recipe's telling me to take it off. So he said, this is all edible and fine to eat. But because I'm doing this cooking class, I thought I better just follow what it says. And I guess they look nicer. And whenever I've had them in restaurants, they are more like this. They don't have anything else attached. So let's just do that. So it's telling me to season. So I have cleaned and dried them. I just cleaned them in some salt water and dried them with paper towel. I'm going to season them with some salt and pepper. Making a bit of a mess on my bench as we go. I guess I should mix that around a bit, but yeah, that's okay. Salt and pepper, great. So it says fill a bag. So you can use a vacuum sealer, and I don't know if many people watching this would have a vacuum sealer. So I am using BPA-free snap lock bags. And because it never reaches a high heat in this process, it's okay to cook in the plastic. It's very food safe. So it's saying to put in 4 thin slices of orange. So I've got my orange here. And preferably organic. And 4 sprigs of fresh oregano, which I grow in my garden, so that was easy. So that's going in. I have taken it off the sprigs. I just got the leaves. I think either way would be fine. I didn't actually really think about it when I was stripping the stalks, so whatever. So that's all done. And then we put in the scallops. So I guess anyway is fine, but I'm going to try and organize it so that they're each touching some of the orange, so that that flavor from the orange and the oregano really gets in. You could just shove it all in, whatever. And the flavor will all go through the bag, so it will all be fine. This is looking good. Okay, now to seal. I am going to show you how to seal a bag so that there's no air in it. So I've got a bowl of water here. I want to mostly get as much air out as I can and sort of snap it up as much as I can so that it's easier to do once I'm in the water. Then you just place it in, and because we're going in the water, that displaces any air that's in here. And obviously make sure no water gets in the bags, but that's pretty easy because the bags have such a big lip up the top. And I think that is pretty good. That is very shrink wrapped, as you would say, and I don't think there's any air in there. So that's how you prepare a bag for sous vide. And then, oh, no, there is more. I know there's more. Interesting. So I'm going to, anyway, the next step, it's going to ask me to do it probably once this has finished cooking, but I'm going to show you the next step anyway, is this is going to be served with some sous vide asparagus, which I've never done before. So all I have done is put it in the bag. I haven't snap locked it yet. And it said to use pencil thin asparagus. So I tried to get the thinnest I could find at the shop. And I'm going to try and even it out a bit, but it doesn't really matter, I'm sure. Getting all that air out. You can see I'm concentrating because I don't want to mess this up, obviously, while you're all watching me. If you mess this up, which I have done before, yeah, that looks good. You just undo it and try again, and that is okay. It's fine to do that. Okay, need to clean my surface here. Okay. We are doing well, and this only has 7 more seconds, so I won't pause the recording. So in our guided cooking, this just tells you everything you need to do. I am pressing next, and this is where it's telling me to get the asparagus, but that's fine. Okay, place sealed bags into the mixing bowl using kitchen tongs, obviously because the water is hot. That's why they want you to use tongs. It doesn't matter which goes first, but I'm going to put in my scallops and then my asparagus on top. Oh, maybe I should have done the other way. No, this works well. And it says, making sure that they are fully covered by water. And if there is any air in any of the bags, I'm going to do the asparagus first. If there's any air in the bags, they will float. And that's another reason why you can't have any air in those bags. So here's where you would find out if that's the case. No, that looks good. The asparagus is just a bit tall. Okay, no, looking good. So then it tells you to put the lid on and sous vide. So we are going to cook this for 25 minutes and I will come back and show you the next step. Okay, so the sous vide has just finished and so it's looking good. I am going, it kind of smells a little bit, even though it's been such a gentle heat. Okay, we are going to remove the bags. Okay, And we need to, it says empty the mixing bowl, clean and dry, and get ready for the next steps. I happen to have 2 bowls, so I don't need to spend any time drying that at the moment. So yeah, remove blade cover, dry the bowl, yes, okay. We're making the sauce now, so I'm going to put in an onion. It's, because this is an American recipe, it says yellow onion, same thing as brown onion. So that goes in, and I've got the smallest onion I could find because it says 2 ounces. I'm adding some oil, extra virgin olive oil. Okay, I just want about, maybe it's 2 tablespoons. It says half an ounce, so I don't know, about 20 grams. Put the lid on, and chop that for 5 seconds. I've just turned my stove on because that's going to be one of the next steps. Oh, I need a spatula. The other one must be in the dishwasher, but that's okay. So just scraping this down. I still love, like, I've had a Thermomix for almost 4 years. I still just love this. Chopped, whole onion chopped in 5 seconds. Brilliant. This time it's telling me to not have the measure cup. So if you just pop it out, and we are going to saute that for 3 minutes. Okay, done. And while that was happening, I just took out the oranges and scallops and I'm paper toweling them to just drain them a bit. But we carry on with the sauce. I'm so excited about this. I'm so hungry too. Putting in some cream. Oh, pretty good. And it says 2 pinches of saffron threads. Now I got this saffron extract from an Aussie saffron company. We had a guest speaker at one of our meetings, and it was just fascinating the way saffron is made and why it's so expensive and the whole process. I won't bore you with it, but yeah, anyway, I got saffron extract from there. So it just, I'm using 2 drops, but the reason I'm gonna do 3. They're just such tiny drops. The reason I bought this is because it lasts a really long time in this bottle in a dark, cool pantry, and it was quite affordable to buy that little bottle. Anyway, salt. There's 1/8 of a teaspoon, so I'm just kind of grinding some in. So without measuring cup, we are going to cook that for 6 minutes. To kind of get this out of the way, because while that cooks, we are going to carry on to the next step. So it's all done together at the same time. Now the next step, oh, actually, I should just show you this. I'll just quickly show you this. This is really cool. Whenever you are in a recipe and it's doing something, if you want to look ahead to the next step, press the 3 dots up the top and press recipe detail. You can scroll down to see what the next step is. So the next step is to melt some butter in a large nonstick frying pan. And we are going to pan-sear the asparagus for 2 to 4 minutes. And then we're going to add in the scallops, the oranges, all that stuff. And it's only 30 seconds per side for the scallops. So we can do this at the same time as the sauce is cooking. So I'll press continue on here. We're back to what we were doing with the sauce. But I can show you, if you can stay here, you can see what I'm doing at the fry pan. It's nothing exciting, but I'm opening the bag of asparagus. And I've already had my pan here. Might turn it down a bit actually. I've already had some butter going in the pan. You saw me turn that on earlier. Just sear that asparagus for 2 minutes, and then we'll add the oranges and the scallops. So how I found this recipe was I wanted to show you something that was gourmet, a little bit different to what we would normally do. And I am a mum of 4 kids, and what we normally do is the very easy stuff, you know, feeding a crowd, kids crowd freezers, that type of recipe. So today I typed in the word dinner party in Cookie Doo to find something cool, and there's so many different options. It was crazy. And then I decided I wanted to do something that was sous vide. I've done several sous vide things before, but I wanted to do something different. So I just typed in the 2 words into the Cookie Doo search bar, sous vide, and I scrolled through and I came across this recipe. So in your Cookie Doo search bar, you don't have to just type an ingredient or a name of a dish. You can put other words like tags and they come up. So dinner party is a good one if you want something fancy, or entertaining is another good word to type in. Or if you want to use a particular function like I did today, you just type in the word of the function. So you could type in fermentation to find all the ferment mode recipes, or slow cook, sous vide, yeah, that type of thing. Okay. I'll just give these a bit of a stir. Awesome. Okay. So, yeah. So the sauce still just has 3 minutes to go. So let me just get my scallops and orange and oregano ready. Yeah, you just want these to be dry so that when you pan sear them, they're not going to be broiling in juices. We want it to be a nice hot sear, and that's why we're paper toweling all of this, just so it's really nice and dry. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. It's nothing exciting to watch. I'm just dabbing it with the paper towel. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. So with sous vide, the other thing you can do is, you've done the sous vide, you can do that early in the morning. You can prep that and have it in the fridge. You can keep it in the bags in the fridge until the evening when you're ready to just sear it. So you could have, if you're entertaining or doing, you know, sous vide steak or whatever, you can do that ahead of time, because that's the long process. Once you're ready to have guests over and be turning the barbecue on, you only need to sear things 30 seconds either side. So you could be, and it's super, like, the texture is amazing. So if I wanted to now, I could put all this in the fridge, but I am hungry and I'm ready to eat this. So yeah, I'm going to do that now. I can see the time on the sauce has 1 minute 30 left. So I think that's enough time for me to sear all this and get it ready on the plate to drizzle the sauce over. So I will get the asparagus out of the way. I'll just do the orange for a few seconds either side. Actually, I'll move them to the side and put on the scallop. By the time I put the last one on, it'll be time to start cooking the orange and the first one. Yes, it looks so good. Sorry if this is a boring part to watch, but I really did want to show the whole process, to show that nothing magic is happening here. I am not a performing chef by any means. I am just an everyday mum cooking in my own kitchen. Nothing magic happening, and I'll just show you what it's looking like. Oops, wrong direction. All just there in the pan, and it's probably ready now to serve up. And I heard the sauce is ready for the next step, which is insert the magic cup, and we're going to blend that for 30 seconds. So that gives me time to serve up. Okay, kind of want to make it look a little bit pretty. I probably got too much on that plate. Here we go. I'll do a smaller portion. I will, because that was a lot. And I can touch it because I'm the one who's about to eat it. Oh, seriously, smells so good. Okay, and this is ready. And the next steps are just telling me what to do with what I've just done. And then look at the beautiful picture they've got. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully I can make mine as nice. So the last step, all I'm going to do is drizzle on some of this sauce, which Looks good. So good. And there we have it. So there's our sous vide scallops with saffron sauce and sous vide asparagus too. Hopefully you can see how beautiful that looks. I just really quickly wanted to show you the texture of the scallops when I cut it in, obviously because I was showcasing the sous vide mode today. I want to make sure you see the inside. So once you cut in, it's really crispy on the outside, but super soft, silky, smooth on the inside. You know, the danger with some seafood is that it can become rubbery. This is totally the opposite of rubbery. The texture is just beautiful. And there we have it. So I thought that was a pretty fancy dish to share for the Queen's birthday. I think she'd be pretty happy with that one. But I will just tell you, it was so delicious. I was supposed to save half of that for my husband to eat. I ate that whole plate. I just ate it all for lunch. And it was delicious. And I will be making it again for sure. Especially now that I know how easy it is to do. That type of dish, you know, without a Thermomix, I would never even attempt it. But without having presented this class, I probably never would have thought of presenting it either. But now that I have, I've really liked challenging myself to do something that's a little bit different. Yes, I'm sorry you guys can't try it. Thanks for I'm seeing the comments in the chat and it's like, yeah, sorry, I can't share it with you, but you guys can go make it. And I hope you do and let us know how you go with it. So we have another dish to show you now, which is from Yolanda again. She is just a whiz in the kitchen, and this is a great dish to show you that it's a fiddly process, which is another good reason why it's pre-recorded. But I can't even pronounce it. It's a rose-shaped dough. So anyway, I'll just put it on. You're just going to love it, and Yolanda is such a pro. So here we go. I'm going to show you now how to make this really fancy dish called sous vide.
Hi, it's Yolanda from Thermomix. Today I'm going to cook Torta de rose, which are ricotta roses, Italian recipe with ricotta filling, a little bit of dark chocolate, a little bit of lemon zest, and I think they look pretty fancy. So I thought, why not try something new and spoil my family? So a couple of stages. First thing, we make the dough, then we let it rise a bit. We make a filling, then we assemble it. And that's the reason I thought I'd video this today, just simply so you can see how easy it is to make something like this that looks really fancy and special. Anyway, having said that, I've never made this before, so we're learning together, but everything with Thermomix is pretty easy. So let's give it a go. I'll just tilt the screen down and you can see my Thermomix. Okay, first thing we do is just back step a bit, sorry. First thing, we need some milk. 230 grams of milk into the Thermomix. I love that I can weigh as I go. So easy, but be careful not to pour too fast when you're close to the amount you want. And also being careful not to lean on your bowl because you will weigh yourself leaning on the bowl. Okay, after that, the next thing we add is some butter. We want 60 grams of butter. So I'm just going to pop that in. Turn my scales. There's my butter. Some white sugar, about 20 grams. And that one goes in. And then 2 teaspoons of dried yeast. I always keep my yeast in the fridge. I just buy this one here. Nice and easy to use when you want it for bread making. I have been enjoying doing a bit of that lately. The cooler weather particularly, a nice bread goes so well with some soup. Okay, so now measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid. And 3 minutes of mixing time. The Thermomix will heat this all up and mix it together. So what I'm going to do is just pause the recording for that 3 minutes so that this recording doesn't go too long while that's doing its thing. So we've mixed our milk and our butter together. That's had its few minutes to warm up. with our yeast to activate the yeast. Now we're going to add 1 egg, 500 grams of plain flour, nearly there. Okay, there we are, 500 grams of plain flour. And next, a teaspoon of salt. Okay, that's all there. So once again, we pop the measuring cap into the mixing bowl lid. Now we're going to mix our dough for 10 seconds. Following that, keep your measuring cap in, and we're going to knead the dough for 2 minutes. A couple of minutes of kneading are done, and we have a beautifully come together dough, nice and buttery. It's going to be gorgeous. So now what we need to do is we need to pop it in a warm place to prove for about an hour. For me, I find in this weather, the best thing to do is to pop it onto a thermomat, roll it into a little bit of a ball, loosely pack it in the thermomat, and then what I will do is I will sit it on top of a thermo server, which has got warm water in it. Not hot, because if it's hot water, it will deactivate your yeast. But if it's warm, the heat will rise up through the lid and will allow your yeast to ferment faster, and your dough will rise faster. So this is great in the winter months when it's cold. Don't ever sit your dough on a cold stone bench, because it just won't rise quickly. It either needs to be on a chopping board, a wooden board, or like this on a thermoserver with warm water. It'll cut your proving time down a bit, and that's great when you're busy and you just want to get on to your recipe. So we'll pop that aside for now. And the next thing is to clean and dry the mixing bowl. The quickest way I could do that right now is just to pop a second bowl in. I've got one handy. And we can now go ahead and make the filling. So now we need a couple of things, some ricotta cheese, some sugar. If I'd been more organised, I would have had these things out earlier to show you. Got a couple of recipes on the go today. So busy day in my kitchen, but lots of fun with the Thermomix. So here's my ricotta. I could have made it in my Thermi, but I actually didn't have enough milk to do that. So I bought some smooth ricotta, and we're just going to weigh in 500 grams. Just slightly over, but that's okay. And now we're going to add in some white sugar. We want about 50 grams of white sugar. Just to give it a little bit of nice sweetness. Okay. The next thing we want is 80 grams of dark chocolate chips. Well, I'm pretty good at improvising. I didn't have any dark chocolate chips, so I've just chopped up some dark chocolate into smallish chunks. So that will work fine for us today. You can often use what you've got rather than exactly what the recipe says. It asks me for 400 grams of candied citrus peel. I actually don't like it, and neither does my family. So I've just finely grated some lemon zest, which will give it a lovely citrus flavour alongside the chocolate with the ricotta. And I'd rather have that than candied peel. So for today, that's what we're doing. And the next thing is a teaspoon of natural vanilla extract. That's another thing you can make in your Thermomix if you'd like to buy the vanilla beans. There are recipes to make vanilla extract. Haven't got around to doing it, but one day I will. And then we pop on the measuring cap into the mixing bowl lid and just give it a mix for 5 seconds on reverse. Okay, so that's mixed on reverse so that we don't chop up our chocolate chunks. We just keep it nice. And the next thing we're going to do is to actually place this mixture into a very fine meshed sieve over a bowl and just let it drain. And we'll let it drain for the period of time that the dough is rising. So there's our ricotta filling. I'm just going to now pop it onto a bowl to drain. I've got just a fine sieve like this. We'll just let any excess moisture come out of the ricotta so that the filling won't make our dough soggy. Alrighty, that's the most of it. So as I said, that's just going to sit in there like that and just drain any excess moisture out. The dough is going to continue to rise in the thermoserver for about an hour. And when all that's happened, I'll come and I'll show you how we form these ricotta roses. So back in a while. Hi, I'm back. Our dough has risen nicely and we're now following on to the next steps to make our ricotta roses. I'll just turn this around so you can see a little bit better. I've just got a little bit of flour on my thermomat. I've also got one of these guys. It's called a bowl scraper. You can buy them in the mix shop. They're super cheap. Just this little guy here. You can also use your spatula to cut on your thermomat, but please don't ever use a knife because you will actually cut the mat and then it won't be safe to use anymore. Anyway, we're going to line a baking tray ready for baking, which is here. I'm using, I can't see very well, the rose gold one from the mix shop. They're nice quality. I've got that. Next thing we're going to do is place the reserved dough onto a silicone mat and work it into a ball, which I did already. Knead it till it's smooth and elastic, just a couple of minutes. Next thing, divide it into 6 equal portions. So hopefully you can see that nicely. I'll cut that into half. Through there. And then each of these will become 3 approximately equal portions. Not an exact science here. Near enough will be good enough. Got those. Divide this into 3 as well. I love working with dough. I've really got into it in the last couple of years, probably more so since COVID hit, because I find it quite relaxing and recreational, but my family really enjoy that I've gone through a little bit of special effort for them to make something quite delicious and fabulous. So that's all good fun. Next thing we do is we roll out a portion to about 2 millimeters in thickness and we just cover the other portion over there so it doesn't dry out. So I just put a little tea towel over that. Roll this out to roughly 2 millimeters. It's a nice dough to work with. It's not particularly sticky. Okay, that's sort of roughly 2 millimeters thickness. And the next thing I do, using a cookie cutter of about 10 centimeters in size, I cut 4 circles. So I've actually got these little pie shells and they're about 10 centimeters across. I don't have a cookie cutter the right size, so I'm going to use this. And what it will also mean is that my ricotta roses will have a nice fluted edge on them, which I think will be very pretty. So this is supposed to make 4. If I can't make 4, I'll roll out a bit more and make the 4th, but I think I can probably just squeeze it out of there. not such a pretty one. I might roll it out and do another bit. Didn't press hard enough, so we'll press a little bit more, pull that dough away. That actually works more easily to hold it in place and pull the dough away. See, we're learning on the go. That's how it works here. Pull that aside. And there's my 4 rounds I'm going to work with. Well, 3 actually, and I'm going to make the 4th one now. Just give that another bit of a roll. We'll save all the scrap bits because as we move on, they're going to make our additional roses. We can rework the dough as we need it. Okay, can cut another one there. Press down and peel away. That is definitely easiest. Okay, so now that we've done this, the next thing to happen is that we take a tablespoon of our reserved ricotta mixture that's been sitting here draining. So actually it has shed a bit of milky fluid down the bottom there. So that obviously was worth doing. So we take about a tablespoon, oh no, a teaspoon. Oh, lucky I checked the measurement there. It's about a heaped teaspoon, and we cover each circle with a heaped teaspoon of ricotta filling. Just like that. And we smear it around like that. I'm really hoping that these come out as beautiful as I think they will, having not done it before. I typically do prefer to test something out before I'm filming it to show others, but hey, live dangerously and just have a go. Okay, so the next bit, from what I understand of the instructions, I need to overlap the 4 circles, placing each dough circle to cover about half of the previous one. So if that's my first one, then the next dough circle will cover about half of that one. And the next one will do the same. And the last one will also cover about half. And then from there, starting at the short end, we roll the circles into a log. So just gently, we don't want to squash it too much. There we go. There's our log. So you see what we're going to get here. What we do now is that we cut through the middle and then we put them on the preserved tray. So what I might actually do is use a sharp knife for that. And I will do that on a chopping board, not my mat. I'll just quickly grab one of those. I just think I'll get a neater edge if I use a sharp knife than if I try to do it with a spatula. Maybe a serrated knife. Working on the fly here while you're all watching. Yeah, that's easier. This one's sharper because I don't want to squash my roses. Okay, so that's what I was after. So now what I have is this very pretty fluted top and a beautiful flat workable bottom that I can then pop on my tray. And I'm going to build my cluster of roses around that centre one. So there's the other half. And we'll just pop it alongside. Now I'll make another lot just so you can see that once again. I'll be quicker this time because I know what I'm doing. Let's move that out of the way. Quickly just roll my next lot out to about 2 millimeters approximately. Amazing how fast you can get when you've done it once and you know what you're doing. Okay, here we go. Cut one. Then the second one. I think it'll look nice with the fluted edges, actually. Quite excited to see how that comes out. Cut the next one. Quite a few Italian friends and a couple of Italian customers. And this recipe, I saw it and thought, I think that's really special. It's quite wow. We'd use it for entertaining, but it actually looked to me like it probably wasn't that difficult once you'd made it. But it'd be one of those recipes that would have a real wow factor when you had someone coming over, whether it was for morning tea or any reason at all. Okay, another heaped teaspoon for each. The mixture smells really nice, actually. I'm looking forward to tasting it. And then we just smear it around. I didn't smear it right to the edges because I actually want there to be a little bit of room there for it to all rise when it's baking and to have some of the pastry showing through at the top. So I'm just going nearly to the ends, and it also helps with handling it. If you've got too much of the ricotta filling right towards the ends, it's actually quite hard to handle. It gets just messy. So that's a pretty good way to do things. So all we do now is we overlap again, each circle by half, like that, like that. It's actually much less complicated than I thought. And then we just roll them up loosely, just like you would a scroll. And then back onto my chopping board for my sharp serrated knife to cut through the middle. Just gently. As I said, you don't want to squash it. I think it might be a shame to do that. So there's my rose again onto the tray. Leaving a little bit of space around each because they are going to rise. It is a yeast raised dough. So there I am. I've got 4 so far. I'm going to use the wondrous powers of technology to once again pause the recording, and I'll come back when I've created the full round and show you how that looks. So I've made my roses. There they all are. So the next step now is to just let these rise in a warm place for half an hour. So once again, I'm sitting them on top of a thermoserver with warm water. It says to cover it with a tea towel, but I'm actually just going to cover it with a bit of cling film because I think my ricotta filling is going to wind up on my tea towel otherwise. The next step after that is to brush them with some beaten egg yolk, and then we bake them. So I'll come back and show you how it all looks when they're baked. Thanks for your patience with the on and off with this recording. So the ricotta roses are baked, they're done, and I have to say, wow, I'm so impressed. I think they look absolutely amazing. They're pretty. They smell just divine. I can't wait to eat one. So a little bit of fussing and playing around with the dough to make the roses, but really it was fun and it didn't take so long. So I recommend this one. As soon as they've cooled just a little, I'm going to taste them. Thank you for watching. And again, apologies for all the start-stop, but it was a bit of a fiddly recipe and I didn't want you watching me for minutes on end as I did the time-consuming steps. So I hope it was interesting and that you give this recipe a go. Bye.
Just beautiful, Yolanda. And I love the process that she shows that makes it look like we can do it in our own homes as well now. So thank you so much, our gourmet cook, Yolanda. And on to another consultant we have with us named Fidesz, who also is a pro in the kitchen. She does beautiful Filipino cooking. But the first part of this dish, again, there's multiple parts to it. So she is going to put it together for us live, but she has pre-recorded you'll see. the elements that she needed. So here we go. I need to find the recipe, which is up here. Here we go. And so...
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to
Oh,
From Scratch with Love. Today, we're making
YouTube.
probably the most quintessential Italian dish of all, risotto, at least from my family's area.
Crazy YouTube. So yes, that was Fidesz making all the pre-parts to this beautiful dessert, this Antonio Bashir creme fraiche cheesecake with strawberry sherbet. So now I'm going to spotlight Fidesz and she's going to show us how it all comes together. Hello.
Hi, thank you, Laura. So I'll just show you how to put everything together. To assemble. So I have unmolded the cheesecake. You have to do it like frozen because otherwise they'll become too soft to unmold. So I've done this earlier. You just have to make sure it's around like 10 minutes before you serve it, because otherwise it would be frozen and not very nice to eat. So I've molded some of them here already, and we need to pipe the cream onto it as well. So you can use straight from the bag, or if you want to use a piping tip, I'll just cut a hole in here, and I'll just like shoot it here to pipe it. I'll try a bit somewhere. Yep. I'll move this so you can see what I'm doing. So just pipe it on top or anywhere you like. Maybe a few around. And then let's put the sherbet. I'll just maybe just do a scoop. It's very creamy, this one, and it's made from yogurt, so it gives it it's like a little bit tangy as well to balance out all the creamy flavors of the cream cheese and the cream. There we go. And then just decorate with some fresh strawberries as well. So there. One more. There we go. So this is the creme fraiche cheesecake with strawberry sherbet. Oh, there you go. Sliding down.
That just looks amazing. Yes, that looks amazing. Thank you for showing us the process.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fidesz. Let me just spotlight myself again. So they were the dishes we wanted to show you tonight for our Good Enough for Royalty class. If you just want to bear with me for a second, for those who want to see how Cookie-Doo works, I'm going to do a little super quick Cookie-Doo tutorial. But before I do that, I really wanted to just share with you some of the promotions we have at the moment. For anyone who's interested in our host rewards, we have a change happening next month. So this month is the last month you can get your hands on the mini thermo servers, and these are really cute. They're 500 mils each, and they come in a pack of 2. So for hosting a cooking experience where you have just 2 or 3 friends in your home, or we can do it over Zoom, speak to your consultant about how you can arrange that. It is super easy. But you can get 2 of these cute little thermo servers. This is the last month for that. There are also other options. There's 5 options. There's our normal size thermo servers, and there's the mats. And for just June or July, we also have an extra host reward option, which is our blade cover, which you saw me using in the Sous Vide video. So talk to your consultant about how it would work for you to get a host reward, because these are just great and the company is offering them to you, so you might as well grab them. The other promotion we have at the moment for anyone who is interested in investing in a Thermomix, or if you want a second Thermomix or whatever, at the moment, for those who don't know, but Vorwerk, which is the company that makes the Thermomix, they've been making vacuum cleaners for longer than Thermomixes, like just years and years and years. And they've got a new mini vac out, which is valued at $299. For anyone who's purchasing a Thermomix at the moment, you can get that just for $49. So you'll be able to have your great Thermomix cooking in the kitchen, and while that's cooking, you can be cleaning up around the place with your Kobold mini vac, which is a really powerful. I haven't got it yet because they're not for sale yet, and they've kind of just got into the country, and mine's on its way. But I have their other vacuum cleaners. I've got the Robo and I've got the upright one, and they are amazing, like super powerful. So that's a really good promotion we have on at the moment. The other information that we need to spread the word on and let you know is that the price of the TM6 is rising in July. The price we have at the moment was always supposed to be our introductory rate, $2,269, which was the rate it came onto the market at. And now they're getting around to rising it to what its normal price is going to be. So if anyone is interested in a Thermomix, or if you have friends who are interested, let them know that now is really a great time. We've got a great promotion, but also the price is going up next month. So talk to your consultant, we'll get you the more information about that. The other thing to let you know is that at any point in time, you can come join our beautiful community of Thermomix consultants. We are always looking for more people to come on board and help us share the Thermo love into the community. It is fun, it is flexible, and you get rewarded for sharing the Thermomix with people. So just talk to your consultant or myself if you're wanting more information about that. We have half-an-hour Zoom info sessions twice a week. So you can just join a session and just get all the information and see if it's for you or not. Obviously, you need the information before you can decide whether it will work for you. So talk to us and we can get you onto one of those sessions. But yes, I did say I wanted to show you how, oh, you eating that, Fidesz? She just said it's delish. So I wanted to show you Cookie Doo because there's always changes with it. So if you're not up to date with the changes, you may not be making the most of it. So if you just bear with me. Oh, I shut the website because the YouTube video was going. So just bear with me while I open that. Sorry, just reopening Chrome, and then I'll need to log into Cookie Doo. But yeah, I really just want to make sure you can all see what the latest changes are. And to get a Cookie Doo subscription, it does come for free with your Thermomix purchase for 6 months. And then after that, it's $49 a year to keep subscribing to Cookie Doo. But in the beginning, you do also get a 30-day free trial. So for any of you who are interested in just checking Cookie Doo out, if you don't already have it, they have free trials. So you might as well give it a go. Okay, finally got this happening. Here I am. The newest thing I want to show you is, I'll just show you an example. So if I'm in the search bar and I want to look at all the entertaining sort of recipes, you can see here my filter is that all the English recipes are showing up. Now, anytime you are searching, you can come into these filters and narrow down your search. You can type in ingredients you want included or excluded if you put the minus in it. So say you don't want eggs in it, just put the minus sign first. You can also search by tags, difficulty, total time, portions, ratings. The one I wanted to show you is down here. For a lot of people in Australia, your default setting is going to look like this. It's going to be ticked on Australia. Now, how you change that for always is if you're back on your homepage or anywhere really, up the top, you'll see an icon. Mine's my picture because I've added that in, but yours will probably just look like a little icon. I press this drop down arrow and I'm going to view profile. And if I go down, here is where you can change your filter preferences. So I have mine ticked to English and I've unticked Australia. So if you want to broaden your search more every time without having to go in and change the filters, you can do that here. So the reason yours might be on Australia is that those are the recipes that have been developed by the Australian head office. And since you've signed up with the Australian Cookidoo site, that's what might be the default, but you can come in here and change it. I just want all the English recipes to show up all the time. So that's the latest to have happened. Other than that, I still am finding a lot of people who don't know about our super easy shopping list. So when you are meal planning with Cookidoo and you found a recipe you want, so let's say I want to make this is funny, I think this has been listening to me. My sister today just told me you need to try the warm sauté chicken salad, and I haven't tried it. So I'll add it to my week for tomorrow. But I'm also going to put the ingredients in my shopping list. So now when I come up to my weekly planner, and I haven't planned for the week, so that'll be the only thing in there. But when you do your weekly planner, you can put as many recipes as you want for the week in and also into your shopping list. So I better just accept these cookies because they're in my way. There's my shopping list. There it is. So I've got recipes in here that I don't want in here. So I'm just going to remove some of these. I've already made these, so I'm going to get rid of them. And some of these are in here from me showing other people how this works. So I really just want to get rid of them. And this is how you can change your shopping list anytime. Anyway, that'll do. Once you've got your recipes in your shopping list, it breaks down all the ingredients. See, I've got 3 recipes in here. It breaks them down into categories so that while you're shopping, all the ingredients are together. So your dairies together and your spices are together, and it just makes it really easy. Or your veggies. If you want to add extra items, you can do that here. So if you need paper towel or soap or whatever you need, you can add that here. And when you're ready, you can go shopping. Obviously, tick off what you've already got before you go. So I've already got water at home. So let me just get rid of that. And I've always got rice and flour. So you just go through your list in your pantry and you tick off what you already have, because you don't want to be buying more of it. When you're ready, you can press these 3 dots up here to share it with someone, print it, or you can access this on the app on your phone so that while you're shopping, the Cookidoo app on here has your list. As you add the ingredients into your trolley, you just tick it with your finger, and that's really easy. But the easiest way of all is press this order ingredients button here. And this is going to work with Woolworths online, and it just pre-loads your shopping cart. And if you don't like the brand that they have chosen for you, you can come here and press the swap button and pick a different brand. Say you want the organic one, or say you want the cheaper one. You can do that. You just choose. You're in control. Once you are happy with your list, you press add to Woolworths cart and it takes you to your Woolworths online shopping profile. If you don't have a profile yet, you need to create one. That's very easy. It only takes a second. And then from then on, you can do that. You can do a click and collect, which is free, or on a home delivery. Oh, I didn't mean to stop that share. Sorry, I wanted to get out of that shopping list. So that's how that shopping list and weekly planner works. I guess everything else is pretty easy to find, just the search bar, just being aware that you can type other words into the search bar. You don't have to type in the name of a dish or the name of an ingredient. One I like is gourmet. Or sometimes I just write quick. Yeah, just whatever. Just play around with the search bar and find some recipes you wouldn't normally try and branch out a bit and give yourself a bit of a challenge every now and then. But yeah, there's so many recipes on Cookidoo. Even just taking away the word and I'm in here. I've got 8,771 English language recipes on here. So really, if you can't find anything to cook, that's a bit crazy. So yes, that's Cookie Do. Yeah, so just before we end, oh, no. Yeah, so I just wanted to thank you all for being on tonight. We have come to the end, and I can see in the chat, thanks Lynn, and thanks for all those who have sent messages saying how much you appreciated the class. We love sharing these recipes with you, so really appreciate you being on, and we really hope you're making the most out of your Thermomix. And yep, have a good night, and we'll I'll send out the recording tomorrow, and anytime you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with your consultant. So yes, have a good night. I'll stay on in case anyone has any other questions, but otherwise feel free to leave the meeting. Thanks everyone.